Let's make some cream cheese and turn that cream cheese into a delicious dessert. Fingers crossed. Hello, family. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki, and you're with Gravy in the Kitchen. So it's another Thursday, another dessert. We're going to make cheesecake, and we're going to make a New York style cheesecake. I printed a recipe. I'll leave a link to that recipe in the description below. And we're following this recipe to the T, which is unlike us. But first, we need to make cream cheese. I have some extra milk in the refrigerator that I am going to turn into cream cheese. Super, super simple. We're going to do a half gallon of milk with a quarter cup of vinegar and 1 tablespoon of butter. And then we'll blend everything to get it nice and smooth. But first we need to move over to the stove. Put our milk in our pot. I did take the majority of the cream off the top of this raw milk, but there's a little bit left in here, which is fine. Turn the burner on. I have it on medium heat, and we want to heat this milk up until it's about 190 degrees. That's going to take about 15-20 minutes. So we're up to 180 degrees. And we want to constantly stir the pot because we don't want to have scorched milk. And any milk that will sit on the bottom of this pan on top of that flame will scorch. And that's going to give the cream cheese a burnt flavor. We're up to 183. We're at 189. All right, 190. Perfect. We're going to turn the burner off. And I have a quarter cup of white distilled vinegar. That's going to separate the curds and the whey. And it's already happened. Look at that. Perfect. Let's take this to the blender. All right, we're going to put this in the blender. Strain the whey. I have a bowl with a fine mesh strainer. I want to make sure we get all the bits. And we did. I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter. And a small pinch of salt, probably less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. Turn the power on. I have mine on the smoothie setting and hit start. So I have a glass container with a piece of parchment paper. On the kitchen scale, tear it out to 0. And we have 12 ounces of homemade cream cheese. Now this cream cheese is really good for making dips because it still has a lot of whey. But I want mine like the cream cheese that you get in the bricks in the grocery store. So I have 2 pieces of paper towel, and I'm gonna lay it right on top, and it's gonna wick away some of that moisture. And it'll be more like the brick cream cheese you get from the store. This is going to go in the refrigerator because a couple of days ago, I went ahead and made 3 half gallons, 1.5 gallons of milk, and I turned it into cream cheese. As for the whey, I'm going to put this aside and let it cool off because this is great to water plants. Now we have our cream cheese. I have most of the components here. Let me clean up a bit and we'll get started on the cheesecake. So first we need to make our graham cracker crumb, or the crust. We need a total of 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. It says about 12 whole crackers. And each one of these has 3, 6, 8. So we're going to need 1.5 packs of graham cracker cookies. So I'm using a Ziploc bag. Now you can use a food processor or the high-speed blender if you want. I'm just going to use a rolling pin. I want to get much as the air as possible out of this bag. And now we're just going to roll the rolling pin over the crackers to break them up. You want to make sure you're totally pulverizing these cookies. We don't have no big chunks. I think we are good, family. One cup. And a 1/2 cup. I'm just going to go ahead and use the rest of it. Looks like mine gave me 1 3/4 cup. That is perfect. 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon or a pinch of salt. Mix all that together. And then I have 5 tablespoons or 2.5 ounces of melted butter. And I have a 9-inch spring form pan. Need to put it back together. Perfect. So I'm just going to take the back end of a measuring cup and press that in, and I only want the crust on the bottom. Trying to keep it as even as possible. Push it down very firmly. And I'm going to take the edge of my finger and I'm going to go around and make sure it's just flat on the bottom, not going up on the edges at all. Just going around the pan. Alright, so I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven for 10 minutes. So this is the cream cheese I made a couple days. I took it out of the refrigerator first thing this morning. And this was 1.5 gallons of milk. Now we need 32 ounces or 4 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese. I am exactly 1/4 of an ounce shy of 32 ounces. We're going to call it there. 2 cups of sugar, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. All right, we're going to mix that together. We need 4 teaspoons of vanilla. This is some lemon zest. I went ahead and zested the lemons I had in the refrigerator to put in the freezer. I took this out this morning, and we need 1 teaspoon. That was perfect amount. And I did the same thing with lemon juice. I went ahead and juiced the lemons, put it in a mason jar, stuck it in the refrigerator, and we need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up right now. We have 36 seconds left on the crust, so I'm just going to wait a minute. So our toasted graham cracker crust is out of the oven. I'm just going to leave it right here until we're ready for it. We need 6 eggs, and we need to add these to our mix one at a time. I reduced the temperature to the stove to 325. So I have some Nancy's probiotic sour cream. We need a 1/2 cup. So we have everything in here except for the eggs and the sour cream. We're going to add the eggs one at a time. And then want to give everything a good scrape. And let's go ahead and add the half cup of sour cream. Mix that in really well. Perfect. Now these spring-form pans are not waterproof. And we need to make it waterproof. So I have 2 pieces of aluminum foil. And that's going to make our pan waterproof. As long as we don't have the water that we're going to put in our casserole dish above this rim, we are safe. Let's go ahead and add our cheesecake filling. Look at that beautiful yellow gold color. Oh, it's gorgeous. So I have a very large casserole dish. It is 10.5 by 15. Let's put our cheesecake right in the center. And this is going to go in the oven. And I do have some water coming up to a boil right there. It's been boiling the whole time we were making the cheesecake filling. So the rack is on the bottom third of the oven. Move our casserole dish with the cheesecake. And in the casserole dish, we're going to add the boiling water. That's why we needed our pan to be waterproof. Slowly push it in. And we're going to bake it in a 325-degree oven for 1.5 hours. And the reason we put water, and especially hot water, in the pan with the cheesecake is because cheesecake has a tendency of cracking, and having that humidity in the oven prevents that. It's supposed to help prevent that. And that's what we're trying to do. We don't want that huge crack in the middle of our cheesecake. So I will see you back in 1.5 hours. And in the meantime, I'm going to get caught up on some dishes, reset my kitchen, and we're going to make a delicious glaze to go on top of this cheesecake. I'm excited. I hope you are too. It's been 1.5 hours. Look at that. No cracks, family. I do want to test it. Oh, perfect. And I get to have a snack. All right, so what we're going to do is to ensure that we get no cracks, we're going to turn the oven off. And I'm going to take some hot hands or oven mitts, fold it in half so they're nice and thick. And we're going to prop the door open, just barely open, so that the water that's in that pan and the cheesecake will cool off slowly. And that will also help prevent cracks in the cheesecake. So we're just going to leave it there until the oven is back to room temperature. I did take a quart-sized bag of strawberries out of the freezer. They're still frozen. We're going to make a delicious glaze out of the strawberries to go on top of that cheesecake. I have a medium-sized saucepan on the stovetop. We're going to take the strawberries. I'm going to turn the temperature on a medium-low. Now, depending on the sweetness of your strawberries, now we picked these last month when we went to North Carolina. I brought them home, processed them, put them in the freezer. But depending on the sweetness will determine how much sugar you need. These are very sweet, delicious strawberries. So I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of cornstarch. So I want the strawberries to thaw. It's going to make a delicious sauce, and then the cornstarch is going to thicken that sauce up. That's probably going to take about 20-30 minutes. And once the strawberries have thawed a bit, I'm going to take this masher and start mashing these strawberries into small pieces. Strawberries have thawed. Got some beautiful juice in there. I'm going to take this and just start mashing them a bit. I want chunks, but I don't want half or full strawberries. And I have the temperature on medium-low. And once it heats up and the strawberry juices and the sugar warms up, it'll activate the cornstarch and we'll have a nice glaze. Let's see what we have here. So we have chunks, but they're not huge. That is exactly what we're looking for. All right, I'm just going to continue heating this up until it activates our cornstarch and thickens up. We do need to taste it. Make sure it's got the right amount of sweetness. Oh, family. That is so good. All right, so we're going to give it another 15 minutes. And once that starts to come to a little simmer and the cornstarch is activated, we'll be done. Cheesecake is still in the oven. With the oven off, I have the timer on an hour. After the hour, we'll take it out. We still have 50 minutes left. All right, so it's up to a boil. And that is all we want to do. We're going to turn the burner off. Take it off the hot grate and let that cool down a bit. So far, no cracks. It's still in the oven, cooling off. And I still have the whey left over for making that cream cheese. It has cooled off, and before we leave today, we're going to take that outside and feed it to our plants. Okay, family. Cheesecake has been in the oven for an hour. It's cool enough where we can touch it. Just dry it off just a bit. We can take our aluminum foil off now. All right, it's still a little warm to touch, so we're going to leave it here for another hour before we do anything. So we have our cheesecake and we have our strawberry glaze. Once this cools off, well, we can take it out of the pan, bring you back, and we'll have a slice of New York classic cheesecake. Our cheesecake has cooled. We're going to go ahead and take it out of the pan. So I have a flat spatula. I'm just going to go around the outside, loosen it from the edge. Let's go ahead and take the spring. And then I have an offset spatula. I want to get in here and separate it. It's going around, trying to loosen it from the bottom. I think I ended up with a little bit of water in here by accident, family, but that's okay. Not ideal. Alright, let's see if we can transfer it to a plate. Oh goodness. I might have to leave it on here. Okay, we're just going to leave it. I am messing it up. I think I got a little bit of water in my aluminum foil. Not ideal. So we're just going to leave it on this base. So I have a piece of wet paper towel. Let's go ahead and cut it. And wipe our knife down. I'm a little upset. My crust got a little water on it. And our strawberry glaze. I think when we had the aluminum foil wrapped around the springform pan and I was dumping the water into the casserole dish, I think a little bit of water got inside that while I was pouring it. That's my fault. So it's falling apart. But that's the thing about food. Even though you make a mistake, it's still edible. The question is it good? Oh, family, that is really good. Homemade cream cheese that we turned into a homemade New York style classic cheesecake with a delicious strawberry glaze. I am very happy with that. Can't wait to bring you back in the kitchen and we'll make something else that's going to be just as good. So before I say goodbye, I just want to bring you outside and show you the container garden, and we can use the whey to go ahead and water our plants. So this is one of the onions. That's the oregano. We planted that together, as well as the thyme. We just added dirt. Our sage, we have trimmed twice and got a lot of dry sage. But our onions are looking pretty good. Over here, same thing. Some more onions. They're looking beautiful. I'm super excited. We never went back to the store to get some more basil because we said we was going to plant more basils in 3 empty pots. It never happened. 1 cilantro has bloomed. Oh, nope, I have 2. Finally. And those are the flowers we planted. So let's hope we get some cilantro. I moved the basil because I thought they might be getting too much sun. And this is actually one of the flowers we planted. But the basil, that's the Thai basil. That's Thai basil. The sweet basil is not doing good at all. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to do some research. So this is the whey from making the cream cheese. Just going to fill up the cup. Put it in the plant. So I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me today while we made homemade cream cheese. Turn that cream cheese into a delicious, slightly mistaked cheesecake and some delicious strawberry glaze. If you find any value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. While you're at it, please go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you part of the Grammy family. So until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family.